Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm WCIA3 meteorologist Jacob Dickey. We are in the Weather Center keeping an eye on the storms moving through the area right now. Just got a new severe thunderstorm warning that is posted. This is going to include parts of Champaign County. It will include Douglas, Edgar, and Vermilion counties. It's going to include that until 8:15. We've got this line of storms that's pushing on through, finally getting some wind from it here as it comes through Broadlands and Allerton. Now the leading edge of it is along Seidel Fairmount Road off to the north and west of US 36 from Chrisman, and then back towards Newman here. There's been a surge of wind now that's going to be heading towards Georgetown, Ridge Farm, Westville, and Tilton. Doppler radar has estimated that we have had at times some gusty winds of 60 to 65 miles per hour tucked in there, and that is why we have the warning in effect here for the region. We're continuing to watch that. Very strong signature of some gusty winds. Radar estimating Allerton and Seidel between there. About a mile north of Seidel-Allerton Road, probably dealing with some 65 to 70 mile an hour gusts at this point. That's going to be coming towards the area out there. In fact, that's over where I got some relatives over there, just texting them real quick to see if we don't get a report from them. So we're watching that storm as it continues to push off to the east at about 45 miles per hour. All right, we're going to zoom in a little closer here. Now, this is Seidel. Here's Maystown, Jamaica. The high school, Salt Fork High School, sits right here. And this storm now pushing in through Seidel, Maystown. Indianola will be heading that way as well. Fairly rural area, coal country in Vermilion County. There's Georgetown, Westville. I think this storm will be crossing US 150 fairly quick here. And some signature of some good, strong winds likely, at least aloft. There's some questions of what is happening in that area, whether it's making it down to the ground. Our radar beam does shoot up about 5,000 feet into the air. So just checking those reports here into the region now. Again, this is mainly for Vermilion County, and checking on our Facebook page as well. If you're watching here live, let me know where you're watching from and any questions or reports that you have. It's brought some heavy rain with it as well as the storm continues to slide to the east. Let's hit the reset button and talk area wide, and I'm probably going to walk to the green screen here in a second. We see here that this is the one warning we have. The severe thunderstorm watch actually was dropped at 7 o'clock. We still have a very low threat, and here we go with one storm that is in the area. That's going to be now in mainly southern Vermilion County. This particular warning does not include Champaign-Urbana, does not include Tuscola. It includes areas in Danville south of I-74. You know, the airport up towards Hoopeston, Bismarck, Alvin does not include you. It's going to include the US 150 corridor between Chrisman and the I-74 exit there near Belgium and Tilton. In those areas, Belgium, Tilton, Westville, Georgetown, places like that. The main core of the storm now rolling into Seidel at this point. And we're going to pull our sky cam up and take a peek at that first before I head to the wall, talk about it. There's a look in Champaign. We're looking back here towards Campustown. I'm going to switch that to our Danville camera because we'll have a nice view of this storm coming on in. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty, he is out in that storm right now and is down there. This camera we unfortunately cannot turn. It looks to the west with a slight south tilt there. We can't turn it to look further south, but we know there's been some lightning, and we've been talking with him. He is southeast of Champaign somewhere at this point. Hard to get some cell service down there, so we'll keep a close eye on that and continue to monitor things here for a little while longer. You can see a lot of that lightning. Again, downtown Danville not technically in the severe thunderstorm warning. I still suspect, though, that we'll be getting some rain and wind in Danville anyways as this line of storms pushes on through, so we'll continue to watch this here. Mainly right now focusing on Seidel, Allerton, be down towards north of Seidel now, between Seidel and Jamaica, where that strongest wind coming on through, heading towards Indianola and Georgetown, I think, for the main part of it here. So that is what we are going to continue to watch and keep a close eye on for a little bit longer. All right, let's switch our graphics, and here we go to our radar. This is, again, a radar scope. It's an app you can download. We really enjoy using this app and using different methods of showing you the radar because it allows us to really look at things here. This right here is Route 1 US 150 from Danville down towards Ridge Farm. You drive south, you'll run into Paris. You take it to the north, you go up to Hoopeston. This here, Interstate 74. There's Ogden. Right here is going to be Fithian. Oakwood sits right here. Then you've got the Kickapoo exit in Danville right there. There's Danville proper, Westville, Georgetown, Ridge Farm. Sidell is here. Sidell, Fairmount, and Jamaica getting the strongest of the wind as this pushes off to the east. Indianola sits right here. You've got the coal mines down in this area, and that storm is continuing to push through the east. The storm itself also does trail a little more to the south and west. In fact, I'm going to go check our Charleston camera here in a second and get a peek at that. But no warning right now for areas of south of Douglas County, except for that northeastern sliver north of Hume there. Tuscola, you're fine now. The storm passed. Many of you have said you've gotten some heavy rain there. Storms are past. I think you're done for the night here as far as the severe threat goes, but look to the west here. More rain filling on, and we'll check on that in a second here. I also want to talk more about further downstream. Let's talk here. Mattoon, Charleston, Neoga, Toledo, Greenup, Effingham, Stuyvesant, Strasburg, even Shelbyville. You have been wondering, where's the rain at for the day? Well, some of these non-severe showers and a few thunderstorms will be filling on in here. Still a low severe threat, I think, for the eastern half of Shelby County, Fayette County, Effingham counties, even Coles, Cumberland, Clark, and Edgar counties ahead of this line here. But really in the viewing area, this is the last little area that has a chance for some strong storms here, and that chance is slim. We've just got that one storm that's up here, again, south and west of Danville that we'll continue to keep an eye on and watch closely here as this batch pushes on through. Let's go back to Vermilion County. I'm going to show you real quick the velocity and tell you what we're looking at. You see these bright pinks right here? This here, again, Sidell is right here, Fairmount right here, Jamaica sits here. I should say Fairmount's right there, Jamaica is here. Right between Sidell and Jamaica, this right here is an indication to us that radar is detecting a loft. Again, it's a bit high, about 5,000–6,000 feet up that the radar beam is sampling this storm, but it's suggesting in here there's 60 to 65 mile-an-hour wind gusts. Some of that may mix down. It probably is closer to 50 to 55, if not 60 mile-an-hour gusts at the maximum here. We'll look for any reports. If you've lost power, things like that, let us know here with this windstorm as it moves off to the east. Georgetown, red line, center line, it's coming to you next. Westville, I think it'll stay just south, but you're still going to get rain and storms there. Chrisman, the worst of it probably to the north of you as well, but still, that severe thunderstorm warning continues for the US 150 corridor from Chrisman to Danville, and then basically right now, I think it's mainly a Vermilion County problem. Champaign-Urbana, we're done for the heavy rain and storms. Still some showers may continue for the rest of the night here. And then again, Newman northward in Douglas County. That's the only little corner there as some of that wind continues to carry off to the east. So we'll continue to watch it closely. We're going to bring that camera back up from the Danville area. And it looks like they did just trim that warning back. Also, Champaign, Douglas counties are all clear right now. And there you can see that new polygon. So essentially east of Sidell, east of Fairmount and Jamaica is where that leading edge of wind is coming on through here. Moving off to the east and northeast at about 35 to 45 miles an hour. Let's go back to that Danville camera. There it is, getting a little more dark and ominous here. The worst of the storm on the left of the screen. The left of the screen is looking south and west. And we also want to bring up my Charleston camera. Unfortunately, I'm not able to turn the cameras, but you can catch some of the leading edge there, that frequent lightning into the area. Oh, that's a nice shot there. This is looking Charleston north. At the trailing end of the tail end of these showers, and just checking some new information. The tail end of these showers and storms, that'd be north of Charleston, on your way up towards Villa Grove and places like that we're seeing this. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to actually drop the banner because I want to see the sky there. I think you can get a better view of that. Again, there you can see definitely a little more convective nature compared to some of the stratiform rain. In fact, the first mid-bank there shows 75 in Charleston. Still stable air to behind it, but ahead of it, that unstable air. As unstable it is, it's not a whole lot, but enough where we're able to mix some of these winds down, and that's what's happening here. Again, this here is our Danville camera, and that Danville camera is looking off to the west. We're catching a lot of that lightning on the left side of the screen there. All right, back to the radar real quick here. I'm going to take a look at this one, and we'll take a look even at lightning. Quite a bit of it. We've been seeing that now. The leading edge now is passed through Sidell and Jamaica. It's now into Indianola. If you've got any reports from that area, Misty from Sidell, she's saying it was very windy a few minutes ago as it came on through. Just now, lightning and rain. Yeah, the wind has slipped on by. Got a report from Jess in Georgetown. She's saying some big lightning there. Rain up in Alvin, rain at Kickapoo. The storm's already through Tuscola. Hume checking in Anita there. So if you've got any of these reports, keeping an eye on it here. For the region. So we will watch this closely. This particular strong cell is going to stay just south of Danville, south of Interstate 74. Danville north side, west side by the hospital, the airport. You'll still be getting some rain. There's some decent rain there and still some rumbles of thunder, some good thunderstorms in those areas as it slides to the east. But this now mainly a southern Vermilion, northern Edgar County issue. Catching back to the west here, we see this line here from Broadlands to Newman down toward Hinesboro and Oakland. That's what we see on our Charleston camera. It does look pretty intense, some heavy rain there, albeit maybe for only a few minutes. That will be moving off to the east. And I'll take a look and see if I see any wind in there. Maybe a little bit of wind there north of Newman. That's not the strongest wind by any means here, but some gust of 30 to 40 miles an hour is certainly possible. Further to the south and west, then not a whole lot in Douglas or Coles County at this point. It seems like we just had this one little storm pulse up between Sidell and Jamaica. The strongest of the wind now in Indianola as it moves off to the east. Eventually, this is going to cross into the Indiana state line. This will be south of the Beef House. This will be Veedersburg probably will be in line for the strongest of the wind here. I think it'll be north of, it will stay north of US 36, but probably cross I-74 near Veedersburg, if not a little bit to the east here. So that's going to carry it into Vermilion County, Indiana, and then eventually I think that's going to be Fountain County, Indiana as well on US 41 from Veedersburg south. That takes you down to Rockville. Probably going to cross somewhere close to Veedersburg. So we'll watch and continue to monitor in that area. That's the only warning we have. Again, area wide here. We take a big picture view. Our severe thunderstorm watch also. It's gone. We do not have that watch. It expired at 7 p.m. We've got a warning, though, after that. And that's just with the low and severe threat that is in place, that one warning in Vermilion County. Right now, what I'll do is I'm going to draw on here a little bit and talk about this line of separation. And if you are on the back side of this line, and go ahead and bring me back on screen real quick if you can. If you're on the back side of this line, Champaign-Urbana, Watseka, Paxton, Gibson City, Bloomington, Normal, Clinton, Monticello, Decatur, Sullivan, Taylorville, Springfield, Lincoln, Petersburg, Jacksonville. You're done for the night. Your threat is over here. We're still going to watch for Shelbyville, Effingham, Vandalia, Mattoon, Charleston. Their time is waning, but still the chance there. Paris, Casey, Toledo, Greenup, and then down towards Newton and Robinson. Those areas will still be in the threat. I'll keep Danville in it barely, but with this storm passing to the south, I think really Danville, the north side, will be okay. It's more south of Interstate 74 towards Belgium, Tilton. Down south there, you've got Grossberger's, you've got Mike's Chill, Mike's Grill. That area probably going to see the strongest of winds, and then down south towards Georgetown and then towards Ridge Farm. That'll be where that storm is for us here. But for the most of us behind that line, we're fine. All of this area here is all clear for the night as far as the severe threat goes. We see some rain starting to fill in here. Widespread showers in Christian County, Macoupin, Montgomery counties. That will be filling in as more rain develops to the south and west. And we'll have some decent rain tonight here, light to moderate in nature, but I think it'll be good for, call it good sleeping rain as far as things go here. Some of these showers continue to fill on in here on the backside as we go through parts of the viewing area. But other than that here, just this one little storm that we continue to keep an eye on in Vermilion County now. It appears that the leading edge of that now is reaching US 150 Route 1, very near Georgetown. Georgetown and Westville now in line for that. Straight line winds is it. No tornado threat with this one from what I can tell. This seems to be straight line winds of 60 miles per hour. So there are going to be some good lightning as well with this particular storm as it continues to carry off to the east. And I'll bring back that I'll bring back that Danville camera, and we'll see some lightning, I think, to the left side of our screen. We might catch a bolt as well here. Unfortunately, again, this camera is fixed looking to the west. It's not going to be able to turn it, but a lot of that lightning will be more on the left side of the screen than anything as we continue to watch. Got some folks in Georgetown saying it's here. I'll be interested to hear if there's any wind reports from that as we continue to watch and just keep an eye on things here. Again, what we like to do is talk about talk about what we're seeing and what's going on and keep an eye on it. I don't have any power outage reports. I don't have anything like that from this either. But if there's any reports from Vermilion County, we'll be interested in the southern half of the county for the area. Northern half of Vermilion County, north of I-74, you head up north towards Hoopeston and Bismarck, Alvin, Rossville, Henning, places like that. There's some rain in the area, but to the south side, the left side, even Danville is going to get some rain. The left side, though, towards Georgetown is where that leading edge is with the rain and the wind, as we've got that severe thunderstorm warning. You can almost tell with that almost bulging out effect here, and I'll draw that if it will let me here. You can see that bulging out effect, and that is what we're talking about, where the wind is kind of pushing out ahead of the storm, that backward C shape. That's a sign of some straight line winds making it down. So the wind coming into Ridge Farm, it seems like centered on Georgetown, even up to Westville, and then areas south of I-74 in Danville. Still going to get some here of that wind and rain, and we'll zoom in a little closer even for you and drop the lightning and clear some of the data off. Still, Catlin right now getting some good rumbles of thunder. We're all clear in Fairmount, Jamaica, and Sidell from the severe threat. Catlin's in that warning, carrying off to the south side of Danville. You can see here the polygon really splits the areas in Danville south of US 136 is about where it's at. The north side of town, not in that polygon. We think the strongest winds will basically hug I-74 to the south in the southern half of the county. So we'll continue to watch and keep an eye on it. Jess saying she can hear the wind in Georgetown, and that's what we expect as it's sliding on through. It looks like radar here showing that leading edge now pushing off in the east of Georgetown. And we'll be heading towards the Forest Glen area, towards Love, and eventually then towards Perrysville and Eugene in Vermilion County, Indiana. Downstream, as we look at this here, I'll put a time on it for some of our Indiana friends that are watching. That leading edge coming on through is moving at about 45 miles an hour, so we'll give it the 25, 30 mile heads up. This is an estimated time. It's at 8:05 at McKendree, Grape Creek, 8:06, 8:10 at Humrick. These are some small little neighborhoods here. You cross into Indiana with that big time change to the 9 o'clock hour. Covington at 9:23, Veedersburg 9:29 is the time for that here. But that's essentially all that we are looking at and all that we are keeping an eye on for our region. As we just kind of hit the reset button, this warning only goes for another 10 minutes or so. National Weather Service in Indianapolis takes the Indiana counties for us, and we have not gotten any word from them on what their plans are here as we continue to watch. We watch that triple box there. You'll see that we've got the Skycam in Danville watching that, and then also looking at our Neal Street camera here outside the station. Champaign-Urbana, we're done here. This is off to the east for our friends in Vermilion County that we're just spending a little time with as we continue to watch this little cell move off to the east. Have not gotten any damage reports, have not gotten any severe wind reports necessarily, but the radar has made that indication that there's some wind and for sure some heavy rain with that there. Seeing the occasional lightning as well on the bottom right side of your screen. We know Kevin's out there. I haven't heard from him. We'll catch up with him maybe later, or he may be winding down for the night from what I'm seeing here, but we're going to watch and keep a close eye on that and check on in with things here. So let me hit that reset and drop the lightning. And what I want to do is check my radar site here. We're going to switch radar sites. One of the issues we have is when we get to, there's the new warning that just popped up in Indiana. That's going to include, let's see. See if I can get that to populate. Going to include parts of Fountain, Montgomery, and Park and Vermilion counties in Indiana until 9:30 Eastern time. 60-mile-an-hour winds, the main threat. That center storm is now just east of Georgetown. In Indiana, this will be just south of Covington, south and east of Covington. It will include Veedersburg and Waynetown. It'll include Perrysville, Eugene, Mill Creek. It's going to include Alamo, Byron, Sylvania, and from Vermilion northward. Does not include Rockville. It's not going to include Attica. That's too far north. But it's going to really kind of hug close to I-74 along and south of that, I think, through about Veedersburg before it starts to cross. And so that's something we'll watch for our Indiana friends. That new warning has just been added on for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Getting a closer look here in the Georgetown storm, I'm going to pop up the wind again, and we'll take a look at our velocity just to see if we can get another view of it, see where that wind is. You can see how that core of wind now is moving to the east of Georgetown. And as that does that, that's going to be heading out of the area. We'll probably wrap up our digital coverage here pretty quickly. But some rural areas out there, I know Forest Glen is out to the east. It's a weekend. There might be some folks camping, trying to enjoy things. Really right now, that leading edge of wind is coming into there. Westville out there. Kind of along the Vermilion River then. So other little places ahead of this that are in the path, we get across the state line, and then we've got Perrysville, Stringtown, Flatiron. We've got Rileysburg. We've got Steam Corner, Yetto, Harveysburg, Cates, Kingman, Hillsboro, Grange Corner, Howard, Tangier in Indiana that are downstream from this here as we head off to the east. As we look back to the west, pretty much we can give it all clear. Sidel, Jamaica, there's still some rumbles of thunder. There's still some rain in that area, but the strongest of the winds now is pushed off to the east. We see this next little line coming here to the south and west from Sidel to Newman down towards Oakland and to Humboldt. Some isolated cells there. There's not a whole lot of lightning with them, but there's enough where lots of folks are still going to be hearing some thunder in those areas. Those storms appearing to be non-severe at this point. We don't have that backward C shape like we do in the Georgetown storm, showing the wind is starting to push out a little bit. And that's what we will continue to keep a close eye on here for not much longer. I want to drop back to Shelby County here. I did have some folks comment in Shelbyville that they were getting some wind and some rain. Doesn't appear to be severe at this point. We look at the velocity, and you don't see those bright colors popping nearly as much in Shelby County. Let's see now, just checking some of these updates. So yeah, there's not nearly the strong, bright colors that we had in Vermilion County as we do in Shelby County. And that's a good sign here. Still plenty of heavy rain and lightning. In fact, I think I've got somewhere around here, just checking some of my data, lightning continued to flash in Danville there. It looks like I don't have that available right now, but let's take a look at the rainfall totals, and it's going to take a minute for that data to populate for us, but I think it's going to be interesting to look at here as we see some of these rain totals coming in. These storms have been prolific rain producers as we have had them come on through. They've had a lot of moisture to work with here. And so you can see here, this is going to be Doppler radar estimated. You start getting some of those little yellow spots there. You're down by Pasotum and Philo. You know, you're getting that 1 to 2 inch range in some of those areas here. Decatur is in that 1 to 2 inch range, and that seems to be on target where some of these heavier storms have trained on through. Still, though, there's a lot of dry real estate here. Effingham, Mattoon, Charleston, Paris. You know, where's the rain at? You said rain, Mr. Weatherman. It'll be coming. Don't worry for those areas. And there may be some strong storms still, but that threat continues to slowly diminish with eastward extent and with time. All right, let's go back to our radar and update that. Carly is saying she got a code red phone warning for the thunderstorm warning for Kingman. Yeah, that's this polygon that now is pushing out into Vermilion County, Indiana, eventually going to carry into Fountain County, Indiana as well, heading for Veedersburg. That's the childhood home of Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy. But as that storm pushes off to the east, we'll continue to watch it here and just ride this storm out across the state line. and then we'll babysit behind the scenes here. Again, estimated times of arrival for some of our Indiana had about 9:28, 9:29 in Petersburg. Covington, about 9:21, 9:23. You know, it's within a few minutes here, but it gives you a little idea. It'll be well past Fountain County then by 9:30 or so. And that's going to be Eastern time, of course, because of the time change at the state line. So we still have this warning in our viewing area for Vermilion and Edgar counties. Again, this one does not include Paris. It's not include Kansas. It's not included areas towards Terre Haute in Edgar County. It has included Chrisman and the US 36 corridor. That's about it. As that storm exits here, really, I think Edgar County from the severe thunderstorm warning, you're pretty clear right now. We'll watch that line from Sidell back towards Oakland, but it doesn't have the wind with it like the other storm did. And I'll give you an example of that here in just a second, where we could really see that backward shape here. And so that certainly is something we'll continue to watch and keep a close eye on here for a little while longer. Let me show you my another radar product we use, and this one kind of shows you'd really make out that backward C shape, that wind that pushed through from Sidell, Fairmount, Jamaica, Georgetown, Westville, Catlin, now crossing the state line here. And as I pull the velocity products up, again, we're starting to get to the range where it's hard for radar to see, and we'll switch it to the Indianapolis one in a second. But as I back this up here, you can kind of see how we had at one point, Kevin was down in Tuscola, and things were, well, there's some breezes there. But once it got to Villa Grove and beyond, then by Broadlands, that wind really picked up those bright colors, passing between Sidell and Jamaica, and really helping to bow out into Georgetown, which seemed to have gotten the brunt of the wind. So if there's any reports from those areas, that'd be something we're curious to know. And I'll switch it to the Indianapolis radar just to get another view here, another angle of it. Yeah, it looks like that wind continuing to push in. Looks like it's coming across Indiana 63 between Cayuga and Perrysville, south and west of Covington. About where Forest Glen is. That's where we'll watch, see if there's any reports there as well. I know it's a weekend, folks are camping out there. This is maybe not the type of storm you want to be in if you're camping on a warm weekend. And I've done many events myself out there over the years, but we'll continue to kind of keep an eye on this. The warning for our area in Vermilion County, Illinois, goes until 8:15. The Indiana one, I think, goes until 9:30 local time, if I remember correctly. But that storm continues to push off to the east. There's that Danville Skycam. Starting to see some clearing to the west there. And that storm now due south. It'll be about a straight left turn there for Danville based on where this camera is. I'd love to be able to turn it. I just don't have that luxury right now. But we still can see in downtown Danville there's some of those rain showers coming on through as the core of the storm is a good number of miles to the south there. Georgetown, Forest Glen, Westville seems to have the strongest of the wind there. All right, so we're going to wrap stuff up here. We got a show coming up. We'll do one last run check through the area. Again, one severe thunderstorm warning for Vermilion County is going to go not much longer here. That's going to go for 2-3 more minutes. It's 8:13, about 8:14. That warning expires at 8:15 and will expire with no problem here. We'll keep an eye on these little cells here from Sidell to Newman down towards Humboldt, north of Charleston. And I might take a look at the Charleston camera again. My Mattoon camera, unfortunately, is down here due to a network issue. We look here, though, Shelbyville, that little line coming on through towards Windsor and Gaze. There's not anything significant concerning with that, but more of these thunderstorms with some heavier rain continuing to backbuild towards Vandalia. Mattoon, Charleston, you'll get some rain in a quick amount in a short period of time. Same with Effingham as those storms roll on through before. I think in these areas we're talking about tonight, we'll have the chance for some of those showers that we continue to watch through the overnight hours and into early tomorrow. There is the Danville camera. We'll show the Charleston camera. And this might be a good one to just look at for a little while. Let me pop that one up and get that to work. I think what we're going to do, actually, is I'm going to drop the banner on that Charleston camera. This is our First Midbank Flooring America iNet. And we'll be able to see some of that lightning to the north there from the other cells. Some of this early spring convection. Get signs that we're getting closer and closer to spring and seeing stuff like this. So that's what we will continue to watch. All right. Thanks so much for being here. That warning is dropped for Vermilion County. We can give an all clear for Vermilion County. If you've got any reports, feel free to send me a message on Facebook, any photos too. And we'll continue to watch as this carries into Indiana. We'll pass it off to our friends in Indianapolis who will be watching and providing coverage as needed for those areas there. Other than that, most of the area is all clear. We'll still watch a few things as I take one big view here and show you my home view. Just a couple of little cells here that will continue to push through, some light showers in the backside. We'll have a full forecast update for you on WCIX News at 9 and WCIA 3 News at 10 o'clock. And that's probably the next time I'll talk to you, and I won't talk to you until I'm back to work on Tuesday night. So we will keep you updated if anything changes, but I suspect that we'll probably be wrapping things up here probably for good for the night. Don't want to give it 100% all clear, but I'm not really worried myself about anything, so we'll continue to monitor and keep you updated. Thanks for your reports as well, and thanks for following in the chat. Download the WCIA 3 weather app. You'll get information as needed. I'm meteorologist Jacob Dickey. Have a